Hey guys, it's Fisayo here, and I've been using the Vivo V21 for some time now. I've used it for over a month, as well as the V21e, and in this video I want to share all of the specs, the features, my pros and cons, and my overall experience using this Vivo V21, arguably one of the slimmest, if not the slimmest smartphone you can get in Nigeria right now. It's coming right at about 7.29mm for this dusk blue color which I've got here. There's a 7.39mm for the sunset dazzle. I remember showing people off the color of this V21e and it was all gasps. It's actually unique, and in this video I talk about my experience with the V21 after my extensive usage. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'd love it if you could tap that like button so more people can see the analysis that we're sharing here. And without further ado, let's get to the video. Inside the box, you get the phone itself, you get the SIM ejector tool, you get the important information and warranty card. In terms of accessories, you also get a 3.5mm headphone which you can plug into the phone with the provided adapter. You get a USB-C cable, and lastly, a huge 33-watt charger to power this 4000 mAh battery. And it's supposed to go from 0 to 63% in 30 minutes when you use the charger. I did my test and I'll show you the results soon. As far as how the V21 is built, you've got a microphone up top, the textured power button and the volume rockers to the right side with nothing on the left side. At the bottom is where we see that there is no headphone jack. We do have a SIM slot here that has an orange rubber ring that would help in case of water damage. It's got a dual SIM slot, one on the top and one on the bottom, and this is the kind that clips your SIM card. It's good and is there in place. Unfortunately, there's no expandable storage on here. However, there's a trick up their sleeve, at least for temporary storage, which is the RAM. I'll get to it in a bit. You get a glass display, matte glass back, which is supposed to be scratch resistant, anti-slip, and it can be easily smeared or have fingerprints on it. It does feel nice, you know, on the hand. And then we have the polycarbonate or plastic frame to the side. Now, speaking of the side of the phone, it's really slim and it does feel sturdy in the hand, and it's a pleasure, you know, to look at. Color options here are of course the dusk blue, which I'm using here, and the sunset dazzle. There's the V21e, which comes in this awesome checkered pattern color, and it's a head turner. I love the fact that we get a smooth AMOLED display at 90Hz. The V21 and V21e have HDR10 Plus and HDR10 displays respectively. Both have more than 430 nits of brightness, with the V21 having 500 nits of brightness. Speaking to more of the technicalities in the display, it's a 6.44-inch display. You've got a 1080p by 2400 pixel display with an aspect ratio of 20:9. Basically, it's how tall and how wide it is, you know, for the display. It's got over 409 pixels per inch, higher than many mid-rangers. I watched videos on here, they were sharp, and of course you can stream 4K content on YouTube on this guy, and I had no problem with that whatsoever. I just had issues with the fact that it's only one speaker at the bottom, and if you're not using headphones to consume content on this phone, wireless headphones at least, because there's no headphone jack here. You have an adapter in the box though, which is good. If you're consuming content with the speakers only, and you know, if you're holding it something like this, you will sometimes block the speaker accidentally, and it will lower the audio quality and the overall experience of watching content on this guy. The V21e is running on Snapdragon's 720G, which is a huge plus, and this higher end V21 is running on MediaTek's Dimensity 800U 7nm processor, which is already challenging some of the best Snapdragon processors out there. The V21's processor is clocked at 2.4 GHz. It's an octa-core processor, you know, and as if 8 gigs of RAM wasn't already enough for the V21, you have an additional 3 gigs of extended RAM taken right from the phone's storage directly to further boost the phone's performance. This is the trick up Vivo sleeve. It's cool that it could pull something like this off. I didn't notice any significant performance difference, but it's nice to know that in case I go overboard, I'm covered with 11 whole gigs of RAM on this guy, although a portion is taken by system software. You've got 120 gigs of storage on here, and I'll say it's plenty enough, of course minus the 3 gigs of RAM that the extended storage is taking. The Vivo V21 comes with Android 11 on their newest FunTouch OS 11.1. One thing with regards to the Vivo V21 is that the interface is really smooth. You can hop in from one app to another and it just feels seamless. I like how the animations are. I like how windows open and close with the round mask. Overall, you know, usability when typing as well is cool. I thought the haptics was significantly better. Scrolling on here was smooth, and images rendered really cool on here with the AMOLED display. Phone call quality when I use my loudspeaker didn't sound well sometimes, especially compared to the earpiece up top, but overall call quality was fairly decent throughout my usage, except this one anomaly of the loudspeaker being iffy. Gaming quality and resolution was very good on here. Gameplay throughout my usage was smooth and delightful, except for that single speaker issue that you keep blocking. On this Vivo V21, you can max out the graphics quality and you can max out the frame rate as well on Call of Duty, but it's only 2 levels of graphics quality and 3 levels of the frame rate, compared to many other displays which have high 5-level frame rates and 4-level graphics. So this is 2 levels lower for the frame rate and 2 levels lower for the graphics, which means you're actually missing out on something substantial when it comes to gaming quality on here. You've got game mode as well. When you swipe from the right side of the phone in the left area, here's where you can either mute all incoming notifications to focus on your gaming. You can lock the brightness of your gameplay in case of ambient lighting, so it doesn't become too bright or too dark when you're gaming, and you can autoplay with the screen off. This could save your battery by dimming the display while your game keeps running, if you had other important tasks to do. My battery level when I played the game at the maximum setting went from 82% to 76% in 30 minutes of gameplay, which is a 6% loss. It went down again to 70% in 1 hour of gaming, so another 6% loss. So hypothetically, we should be able to do 8 hours of gaming on this phone before we complain about a low battery, and it didn't overheat. I feel like it could be because of the lower graphics ability on here, because you have 2 levels lower graphics quality on something like Call of Duty. You do get a decent 4000 milliamp hour battery on here, smaller than what we see these days, and I'd say that standby time was somewhat average for me in terms of performance. However, I remember I said that we have a 33-watt charger that would get you to 63% in 30 minutes. Well, here's how my own charging speed went. From 0 to 32% in 15 minutes, up to 52% in 30 minutes, and not 63% as advertised, 73% in 45 minutes, 93% in 1 hour, which is cool. And in 10 more minutes, it got filled up to 100%. So while I get from 0 to 52% in 30 minutes compared to 63%, I still believe it's fair, especially considering that you can get up to 93% in 1 hour. Phones are charging pretty fast these days. The fingerprint reader and the face recognition for face unlock was quite fast on this phone. First of all, you've got an on-screen fingerprint reader. It's a little lower when you consider the position of the screen overall, but it was fast. I had no complaints. Same with the face unlock. I also like that we've got sort of the live wallpaper when we unlock this phone. When it comes to the cameras, both the Vivo V21 and V21e share the same functionality. They both have that large 44 megapixel selfie camera, and on the back you have the 64 megapixel main camera, wide camera, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro lens. Now, what makes the Vivo V21 stand out among the rest of the lineup is that it's got a first of its kind 44 megapixel optical image stabilization feature where you can record footage despite your hands being shaky. It would capture and stabilize the frames, and of course you get night selfie camera. You've got the night mode in the camera app, portrait mode with the adjustable aperture settings, and what I like about the portrait mode and how it's cool is that apart from how you can adjust the blurriness in a photo afterwards, you can even select the points of the image to focus on, which is a lot of data. Kudos to Vivo on this one. You've got your normal mode with the 2 lenses, and you can switch between normal and zoom on the normal mode, and then you can click the lens button to activate either the 8 megapixel ultra wide mode, bokeh mode, and macro mode. Something I noticed was that in the gallery, again, it identified photos with text being as documents. That's due to the AI document sensing. You've got a video mode with the main selling points being the ultra steady feature, and if you attempt to shake your hands while recording, normally it would be bad. Whereas if you turn it on, it smooths things out, even before you start recording. For extra modes, we've got the high resolution mode to enable that 64 megapixel panorama, live photo, slow motion, which can go up to 240 FPS, but 120 FPS for the front camera. Time lapse, pro mode, AR, stickers, document scanning, and double exposure, which can take multiple pictures and merge it into one with the opacity effect. So for instance, I can take a picture of this plant, then take a picture of my hand, and it merges them into this effect. All of these features are available on the front camera except for panorama and document scanning mode, of course. The selfies I took on the V21 were sharp but lacked contrast. The portrait shots are also not bad with, aggressive background blur. I like the fact that you can adjust the highlights of your camera down before you take a photo. That way things aren't getting too blown out. In a group setting where you mostly take selfies, or where people take selfies the most, you can expect decent results, but it might also miss your face and focus on the background. You have the option of using aura light or the fill light, which is the two very bright selfie lights for dimly lit front-facing shots. While selfies at night looked visible, at least with minimal light, the fill light shines bright and illuminates the face. I wouldn't go near night mode though for selfies because it aggressively smoothens the face and tries to brighten things up and makes it look like that. The magic of night mode comes with the back camera's photos though, where you do get a significantly brightened image. Although for a landscape subject, evidence is there in the smoothing, but it's not skin. The ultra wide camera is an 8 megapixel one, being the mid-level quality of the three cameras. At least it's better than the 2 megapixel macro camera. If you pay attention to the rug and the wall, and we switch to the main lens, we see it's cooler. The walls have better pattern definition, so does the ground, because you don't have a telephoto lens. The zoom piggybacks on the main lens. I like the shots of humans too with the back camera. When properly adjusted, it gets you the desired results. And of course, portrait mode does fairly well with that background blur. And as I said, you can adjust the blurriness of the background and the point of focus. I wanted to see how the macro mode performed, so I took a wide image, then walked about 3 steps forward and took a very close-up shot with the macro settings. Needless to say, you get to capture effects closer, but it's 2 megapixels and that's a bit low in 2021. Anyway, here's a photo of a small chop split that I took. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Comment small chops if you've gotten this far into the video. At first, I captured the video in ultra wide angle and it had micro shakes, and the main lens with the shaky hands did stay stable because of the ultra steady feature. But the feature only shoots in 1080p, while 4K was sharp and even significantly more colorful than 1080p shots. I did notice some shakes when I moved. You will also notice the same thing when zoomed. Ultra steady also works on the front camera too, and it's fair. This is how it looks. Without it, your videos would definitely shake and jitter if you move fast, but exposure was maintained throughout the recording time. Let me know what you guys think about the camera quality overall in the comment section below. The V21 is around 159,000 naira or $318, while the V21e is this. I'll put the price of both of them, the accurate naira and dollar price of the Vivo V21 and V21e in the pinned comments and in the description of this video. That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to ask me any questions about either one of them. I look forward to seeing you guys in the very next one.